Good evening, and welcome to tonight's 8th grade promotion as well as junior high awards assembly. At this time, I would ask that everyone please stand for the processional. Please be seated. Today is a celebration of all that is good about our students, our teachers, coaches, and school. It's wonderful to look out on everyone and feel that energy that comes on a day such as this. This evening is the fun part, as we reflect on a very successful school year, both academically and athletically. Every student here has worked very hard to make the best of themselves. They have persevered and worked towards their goals in a determined way. As I look at the 7th and 8th grade classes, I'm very excited and eagerly look forward to the possibilities that await them in the future. They all have the potential to be all they want to be. As we reflect and close this small chapter in their lives, we hope they are better prepared and ready to tackle the next set of challenges which lie ahead of them. I urge them to take a moment and be sure they always put their energy, determination, talent, and time into their dreams. Overall, I've had truly enjoyed the opportunities I've had to connect with each of these students. The junior high has done a great job at representing their school, at all the activities, as well as in their daily interactions in the classrooms. As educators, we are very fortunate to have such a wonderful group of students. Now, I want to begin this evening with the Citizenship Award. And each year, we give a Citizenship Award to one 8th grade girl and one 8th grade boy. The award is presented to each individual for excellence as an exemplary young citizen who demonstrates a respect for country, responsibility for improving school and community, and has shown reverence for life. This year, the award is presented to Leah Silsby. and the boy, Keaton Littrell.
I am very happy to be I am very happy to be presenting the Outstanding Student Award. The Outstanding Student Award, chosen by the junior high student body, is not only for academic abilities, but for the qualities of a positive attitude and leadership that carries over into everyday life. This year, the recipients are Leah Silsby, and Jerry Bradbury. Perfect attendance was on the program as our next scheduled award. However, the cold and flu season was not kind to our students. Unfortunately, we do not have anyone who had perfect attendance for the school year.
At this time, I'm going to present the Principal's Award. The requirements for the Principal's Awards: a student must be on the first, second, and third 9-week honor rolls. And when I say your name, please stand and remain standing. Ethan Alkire. Katie Ellenball. Morgan Becker. Jerry Bradbury. Braden Collins. Christian Dara. Jaden Dawes. Braden Doman. Evelyn Evans. Brody Flaherty. Caitlin Harley. Lane Hebert. Jessica Johnson. Sarah Kendall. Gracie Kidd. Connor Kane. Hayden Lance. Keaton Littrell. Nicole Miller. Braden Minson. Aiden Moore. Pagan O'Hara. Aaliyah Perez. Andrew Preeb. Angel Saunders. Leah Silsby. Tyson Struber. And Xavier Westbrook. Congratulations and a great job by all these students. You may be seated. I need a drink of water after that. A lot of great students doing a lot of great academic things. And finally, I'll be presenting the Academic Excellence Award. And this award is for maintaining at least a 3.6 GPA with no grade lower than a C. And these students have distinguished themselves and have displayed a strong academic work ethic for the entire school year. Again, when I call your name, please stand and remain standing. Ethan Alkire. Katie Ellenball. Morgan Becker. Christian Dara. Brody Flaherty. Caitlin Harley. Jessica Johnson. Gracie Kidd. Hayden Lance, Keithan Littrell, Nicole Miller, Braden Minson, Kagan O'Hara, Angel Saunders, Leah Silsby, Tyson Struber, and Xavier Westbrook. Congratulations on a remarkable job and by all these students. You may be seated.
It is my great pleasure each year to coach the Junior High Quiz Bowl. Would my 7th and 8th grade teams please stand at this time? Let's give them a nice round of applause. You may be seated. I really enjoy coaching this activity. If you've never been to a Quiz Bowl meet, I encourage you to come sometime. It can be a lot of fun to watch and can be very intense at times. All of my kids will tell you that one round may be easy, and the next round, you may not know a single answer. My 7th grade team had a great start to their Quiz Bowl careers. They placed 2nd place at the Little River tournament. Great job, and I hope you guys continue to do Scholars Bowl next year. My 8th graders did a great job this year. We had a 1st place at the Little River meet. Would my 8th grade league team please stand and stay standing? Last year, this team came so close to winning league, I never told them that they only lost 1st place by 2 questions. This year, they stepped up and they took 1st place at league. They won all but 1 round at league. I am very proud of them, and I hope all my 7th and 8th graders continue to do Quiz Bowl next year. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I would like the members of the 8th grade FCCLA chapter to stand. This year I had more join, which is very exciting, than I've had in all the 8th grade years that we've done this. Some participated with local activities such as attending the Fall Leadership Conference in October, while others competed in STAR events, which is students taking action with recognition. I would like those who competed to continue to stand. Hey, there's some of you that didn't stand that were members. Brandon, Dakota. Thank you. That's all of them. Now you two can sit down and the rest can continue to stand. Okay, Andrew, Clay, and Keaton, along with 2 upperclassmen, competed in what's called parliamentary procedure, and they received a silver at district. Leah, and Peyton competed in life event planning and received a silver at districts and a gold at state. They were 3rd in line to go to nationals. They were so close. I hope they all continue to compete in FCCLA STAR events, and I can see them going to many nationals in the future, such as Atlanta, Georgia next year, or the year after, Anaheim. And then I think the year after is Washington, D.C., so you got lots of options. And hope the rest of you will join as well. Thank you. You may see.
Good evening. I'd like to start the evening off by giving a few thank yous this evening. Mr. Dink, Ms. Dool, Mr. Kane, and last but not least, my wife, who was my assistant coach, Sue Unruh. Starting out this year, early on, after about the first few practices, we went home and we kind of looked at one another, and I said, I don't think we're going to win a match this year. And I was pleasantly surprised. You know, the girls early on, we were lacking in experience. We didn't have a lot of girls with much varsity experience. Had a lot of girls that hadn't had a whole lot of volleyball experience, period. And with low numbers, we also opened it up to the 6th grade. And so we also had 6th grade girls playing with the 7th and 8th grade girls this year as well. Right now, I'd like to have all the 8th grade girls who played to go ahead and stand up. And now the 7th grade. As you can see, we did not have a large group, so that's why it was opened up to the 6th grade. If there's any 6th grade out there, girls, you can stand up. Breck and I see you over there. All right, thank you, girls. Go ahead and be seated. So again, as you can see, we were low on experience, low on numbers, but the girls worked really hard starting out and progressed really, really well. And I think we ended up the season probably about a match under 500 by the end of the season. We were in the middle of the pack come league tournament time. We got a first round. We got to watch the other teams play, and then we went out and played our first match. Obviously, our first match didn't turn out the way we would like to, but I think prior to that, we'd started playing some pretty good volleyball. Being a young team, we obviously had some inconsistencies. One night, we looked like champs. We were really, really good. The next night, we really struggled. But I knew there was potential there. Potential was demonstrated in practice. We scrimmaged the high school C team, JV team, and we beat them in 2 different matches. So I knew the ability level was there, and it was just a struggle sometimes to pull that out from them. They did get to see a few other things at practice, obviously, with Mrs. Unruh and I there. They got to see what married life was like. Sometimes she wanted to voice her opinion, and I like to voice mine. And so we had to always come to an agreement. So they did witness a few of those discussions, but I think it was humorous and enjoyable for all. Would you say, girls? You enjoyed that? So, being my last season, I did enjoy finishing up. I think we ended the season a lot better than, like I said, we had initially planned. We had some girls who progressed tremendously. We had some 7th grade girls that really worked hard, and they progressed throughout the year. They were starting on B team, and once in a while they were pushing for some time on some A team. At some point, we played 2 6th grade girls, 2 7th grade girls, and 2 8th grade girls on the varsity level. And so that demonstrates the ability level of some of those younger girls as well. So keep working. We'll be keeping an eye on how you do. Look to see how well you progress. Last but not least, parents, thank you for all your support for all of these years that you've given to my wife and myself. Thank you.
I would also like to start off with some thank yous. The school board, Mr. Kane, Mr. Dank, Mr. Trimmel, Mrs. Duell, and my ladies in the office that always keep me organized, Jody and Darla. Parents, thank you for coming out and supporting your kids, supplying us drinks and food and all that stuff after the races, and for my wife and family for allowing me to be gone all the time. So, we had 5 junior high cross country runners this year. We had 2 boys and 3 girls. When I call your name, if you would like to stand and be recognized. Start with 7th grade. 7th graders run a 1-mile race. So, Hayden Lance. Hayden had a terrific first year of cross country. He placed 5th at Teskett, 4th at Harrington, 4th at Marion, 5th at Berean, and 3rd at Burton. So he had a great year. His best time of the season was a 6:06 mile at Burton. So good job, Hayden. The other 7th grade boy, Morgan Becker. I just told you Hayden had a terrific first year. Well, Morgan had a phenomenal first year. Morgan placed 3rd at Teskett, and then 1st at Harrington, 1st at Marion, 1st at Berean, 1st at Burton. His best time of the season was a 5:48 at Burton, and he now owns the school record for 7th grade boys, and it's going to stand for quite a while, I think. So, great job. Eighth graders. Eighth graders run a 2-mile race, except at Tesket where they still run the 1 mile with the 7th graders. We'll start with Courtney Metter. Courtney finished 10th at Tesket, 5th at Harrington, 12th at Marion, 7th at Berean, and 3rd at Burton. Her best 2-mile time was a 17:13, which is an 8:36 mile average, which is pretty good. Good job, Courtney. Alexa Bell. This was Alexa's first year running cross country. She finished 4th at Tesket, 3rd at Harrington, 6th at Marion, 3rd at Berean, and 2nd at Burton. Her best 2-mile time of the season was a 15:56 at Burton, which is a 7:58 mile average. Again, good job. And last, Leah Silsby. Leah finished 2nd at Tesket, 2nd at Harrington, and 5th at Marion, then was sidelined the rest of the season with an injury. But her best 2-mile time of the season was a 15 flat at Harrington, which is a 7:30 mile average, and she is now the owner of the 8th grade girls cross country record. So good job, Leah. The girls, you'll be moving up to high school level competition. At high school, they run a 5K, which is 3.1 miles, and I think they'll be able to handle that just fine. Canton Galva's cross-country future is looking bright. I really like what I see coming up. Parents, you're doing a great job as well, just raising good kids, because these are some awesome kids. Thank you. Move to my next one. Junior high girls basketball. Kind of like Kelly said, on the first day of practice during our team meeting, I asked, which ones here have played a varsity game or have had much varsity experience? And I had one little hand go up out of 19 faces staring at me. So right away I was like, okay, we're going to have some growing pains and we have a lot to learn. But we did it, so I think we did all right. I could see right away during drills that team speed was going to be an asset for us this year. And after a few days, I could see they were willing to listen and were willing to work hard. So I've always taught kids that hustle takes no talent, and these girls had a lot of that. I always say you may not be the best shooter, dribbler, or passer, but if you try hard and are willing to hustle, good things will still happen. I also told the girls first day of practice we would try to learn as many fundamentals as possible in the 1.5 hours a day that we get to practice. And we're going to learn as many man and zone offenses as possible, have as many defenses as possible, presses, press breaks. It's just unbelievable the amount of things they have to know in 2 weeks' time to play their first game. We do all that and then go out on game day and see if we actually remember what we practiced all week. Sometimes it looked like we did, sometimes it looked like we didn't. But I must say on defense, we did a great job. We held opponents below their season averages in almost every game. We held 2 teams to their season low in points. We ended the season with 120 steals in only 13 games, turning many of those steals into points, which we needed those. We took the attitude to never give up. There was only one time all season I kind of looked at them during a game and I could just see they were done. I don't know if anybody was at the Harrington game, but it was in between the 3rd and 4th quarter. We were down 21-10, and I look at them and I was like, you can't give up. You got to go out and give it everything you got. So we put on the press. We came back, we scored 14 points, they scored 1, we won by 2. That kind of set the stage for the rest of the season, I think. They proved this again at Little River. They outscored them 9-4 in the 4th quarter. Again, we beat them by 2. Anytime I can beat Little River, that's a good day. They all know that shooting is the one thing I want them to really focus on in the off-season. We were not a very good shooting team. We finished the season only shooting 30% from the field and 38% from the free throw line. We got to get a lot better there. And these are fundamental skills that can be learned and worked on all the time. Mr. Trimmel's sitting over here and he gave me this term one day, the driveway shooter. Those are those kids you drive down the street and you see them out in their driveway. All they do is shoot baskets. We need to see more of that. Get off the electronics, get outside. I always tell the girls, try to be that person on the team that everybody else has to look at and try to stop. Be the Jimmy Chitwood of your team, and the girls should know what I'm talking about there, I hope. We need to have 5 of those players on the floor at a time, and that would be awesome. One more positive thing these girls did well is their unselfishness with the basketball. They finished the season with 54 team assists. Seeing that we only made 128 shots on the season, that means that almost half of our shots were made from someone else making a pass and a teammate making a score. So we are capable of making good passes and taking care of the ball. It just needs to happen a little more often than it did. But the girls finished the season with a 7-win, 6-loss record, which is pretty good for not having a lot of experience. So they need to be very proud of themselves for that. Could they have done better? Sure. We only lost 2 games by more than 10 points though, Central Christian and Rural Vista. And the rest of the games we only lost by 4, 7, 7, and 7. So none of those are anything to be ashamed of. You guys did an excellent job. I'd like to recognize all the girls that played this year. So 6th graders, if you are here, Brecken Pearson, Sage Taves, Mimi Craig, Emma Cross, Rylan Schmidt, and Ashlyn Leach. We also had low numbers like the volleyball team, so we brought 6th graders up. 7th graders, Gracie Kidd, Jaden Dawes, Angel Saunders, and 8th graders, Michaela Jowers, Maddie Leach, Dakota Williams, Aaliyah Perez, Alexa Bell, and Rachel Bays. Give these girls a big round of applause. They worked really hard. Two more people I'd like to recognize are my managers, Courtney Metter, she's here, and Nicole Miller. Ladies, I want to thank you for all your hard work throughout the season. Be proud of your accomplishments. 8th graders, I wish you good luck as you transition to high school, move up to high school level competition. 5th, 6th, 7th graders, I'm looking forward to next season already. Hope to see you all out at summer camp days. If I'm driving around this summer, hopefully we see you out there being a driveway shooter and getting better. Thank you, ladies.
We're going to do this a little differently. All the track kids come up and face the crowd. I want you to see their faces, and this way I don't see them roll their eyes at me either. Mr. Thornburg is actually the one who's supposed to be the speaker, but he was kind enough to let me, because this is the last time I'm ever going to get a talk into a microphone, and I really wanted to. Did you plan that? Before I start talking about track, I'd just like to say, way to go academically, guys. That was very exciting. You must have had some fantastic 5th and 6th grade teachers that made you that smart. Very, very proud of you. I want to start off with my thank yous as well. Thank you to Mr. Unruh, who came over and did the high jump, because that's where I ended up as the event coach, and I don't know a lot about it. And so he would tell me what to do, or he would come over and he would work, which I really appreciated. And thank you to Kara and to Mr. Kane and to Mr. Dink, who I would like to say I would work another 33 years for you. And then we have a big thank you, and that is to Mary Jowers, who was our bus driver all season. And I'm telling you, Yeah, she was our snack provider, meal provider. She took care of Blake and I so much, and the kids. And so I want you to know, Mary, how much we really, really appreciated you this year. Now, I'm going to start off with some highlights, as in broken records. And when I say broken record, when I get done here, you'll go, well, that sounded like a broken record. We had 2 7th grade boys that broke some records. We had Morgan Becker, who broke the 7th grade boys mile record. Let's give him a hand. And then we had Tyson Struber, who broke the 7th grade boys 200, the 7th grade boys high jump. Remember that I was his coach. The 7th grade boys long jump, and the 7th grade boys triple jump. So let's give him a hand. And you know what? We had a lot of wins. And we had some that may not have won. But of the 33 years that I have done this, I'm so glad that I ended on this year, because it renewed my faith in Canton Galva and in the kids that we raise at Canton Galva. Because Mr. Thornburg and I would always talk about the importance of your PR. Just get better. You know, the winning wasn't as important as it just improve. I mean, I think we can use that in our lives. Do you just improve? But the way these kids would support each other blew us away. And the first few track meets, we saw some of our athletes who won or may not have won, and they turned around and they shook the hands of the other competitors from other schools. And, you know, it was kind of that moment that Mr. Thornburg and I had thought, you know, we're doing something right here at Canton Galva. If that's the way our kids compete, that's what it's about. That is what sports is about. They also supported each other when they did their events. They were happy for each other. They were genuinely happy for each other. And we didn't see the jealousy and those kind of things that you see so often. One day, Tyson, he was running 100, and he leaned, and he had won it, and there was no place to stop. Well, he tumbled. And I saw one of his 7th grade friends, he was running down the track to him. You know, all the guys, 8th graders, and also, when Eddie hurt himself, they gathered around him and they took care of them. And I don't think you can ask for much more than that. And no matter if we broke records or if we didn't, or if we got a first place or if we didn't, we did the most important thing this year, and you were a true team. I cannot wait to watch what happens to these kids in high school, because they are competitors and they are good teammates. So, I would like you all to give them a hand, please. And the last person I would like to say thank you to is Michaela Jowers, who was our manager. Much like her grandma, who was the bus driver, Michaela took care of us. I said, you know, I don't really know what you're going to do. Well, I kept her busy all the time, taking care of me, carrying the bag. We made her do just about everything. And I would also like to say thank you to Mr. Thornburg, who has been my part. I've been his, he's been mine. We used to work under Tina, then we broke away, and we've been on our own here for the last couple of years. But he has been a great partner to have. So thank you very much. You guys have a great day.
All right, has to come down even lower. Okay. It's never fair to have to speak after an unruh. That's all I have to say. And I don't have any paper, so it's coming from the hip. But I would like for my cheerleaders to please stand up. Okay. These 6 young ladies are fabulous. And when I think of cheerleader, the word leader is what these young ladies are. Every single one of these girls is involved in more than one thing. When they have practice, they have to come after another practice. So they're tired. They haven't done their homework yet. They haven't had anything to eat yet. They're tired. And they come and they give me 150%, and Coach Bergmeyer as well, every single time. And we could not be more proud of you young ladies. And I'm going to try not to get all emotional. But, you know, for the past 10 or so years, I've coached junior high, and it's been a ball and a blessing, and you girls have been wonderful. Half of you were coming, and one of you are moving, so I will miss you very, very much. But 2 of these young ladies I get next year at high school cheer, and I hope to see the other 3 in another year. But I just want everyone to truly know, these girls cheer for everything, whether it is basketball, or it's football, or it is their teammates, their classmates. They are true leaders in what they do, and I am so proud, and I was honored to be your coach, and I wish you all the best. So thank you.
I'd like the football boys to come stand up here as well. Line up. I'd like to start by thanking everybody who helped us out this year as well. Bus drivers, staff, everybody else. I'd like to thank my wife. During the season, you know, Dad kind of gets put on the back burner because you got to become coach, and there's a lot of hours you put into it. I'd like to get this out of the way though. I'm very proud of these kids. So we're going to do this first. I'd like to present to you your 2016 undefeated Wheat State League champions. Coming into the season, Coach Thornburg and I, we knew that we had a lot of kids. We knew we were going to have good numbers. But we also knew that we had lost most of our skill players that participated at the A level last year. So there were some question marks. The first couple weeks of practice, we just couldn't move the football. We couldn't do it. And I couldn't figure out why, and it was really starting to drive me crazy. And I called 2 players into my office, Michael Hardman and Brandon Huff, who were going to be, you know, pretty primary ball carriers for us, score some touchdowns, do things like that, the stuff that gets your name in the paper. And I asked them, I said, fellas, we need to block people. I said, you're our most physical players, you're our biggest players. What would you do if I moved you to line? Because if you're just going to ruin a kid's attitude and everything else, it's not worth the change. And both of them looked at me and said, I'll play wherever you want me to, Coach. And at that point is when I knew that the season could go from really good, you know, to great and special. So I moved him there. Now I had to put in a play for Brandon Huff so he could score a touchdown. It's actually called the Brandon Special. And he scored, did he score once or twice, Brandon? Twice off that. And we had to throw it to Micah a couple times from the end spot, even though he did some 360 thing every time he went to catch it. You know, couldn't just run under the football and take off. And he ended up getting to score some touchdowns as well. But when you ask kids to go from a skill position where they're going to be carrying the football to offensive line, which even though to me is the most important position on the field, the kids don't always see it that way. You know, that's asking a lot, so I was so proud of them. Our season worked out really cool because we were beating up on some teams that weren't quite as good as we were. We had some tests in the middle against Gossel and teams that, you know, Gossel finished 4-3, I think, and we ran away with that game as well. And we were just beating up on people. And I kept looking to the west about 35 miles, and there's this other team, you know, like Coach Silsby said, that nobody really wants to talk about. And they were 45 and everybody too. They hadn't played a game past halftime either. So it was starting to look like we were going to meet up at the end. And that was our final game of the season. And before we left the locker room, I wrote on the board, I said 2016 Wheat State champs with question marks. who was it going to be? They hadn't lost a game. They hadn't played past halftime. We hadn't lost a game, and we hadn't played past halftime. And sure enough, we come out and we play like crap for a half. And we're down 2 at half. First time we've been down all season long. And I went from, X and O's and doing this to being mad and yelling and stuff that I don't like to do. And so I met at halftime. I said, fellas, this isn't fun. This isn't fun football. Nobody's having fun. And it was my fault because I was the one that was yelling and screaming at them because we weren't winning, because we had went out there and made some mistakes, because some kids came and hit us in the mouth and we weren't used to that. So I said, you know what we're going to do in the second half? We're going to go out and we're going to have fun. And sure enough, we went out. They scored one more time, I think. We scored 4 or 5 and beat them pretty good. So we ended up being the undefeated league champs. So I'd like to say thanks again. And to you 8th graders, we'd have special meetings at practices, at shorter practices. We'd all meet in the middle of the field and we'd talk. And I'm going to keep that between myself and you guys. But you know what I said, and you know what my expectations are of you. And I still believe every word that I told you guys. If you stick together, okay, and you work hard, and you stay a team, you stay that brotherhood, you can do special things. And like Sue said, or Miss Under, sorry Sue, that class could be special. You guys could be special. You got to stick together. You got to work hard. High character. Okay, respect, things like that. Be confident, not cocky. You know the difference. We had that talk many times. Okay, and I can't wait to watch you guys play at the next level. It'll be fun. For you 7th graders, you get me again. We kind of set a standard this year. So I don't know why we can't go do it again. Let's go be league champs. Got to go work hard, do things like that. Welcome the newcomers that are coming in this summer and fall, but let's go work, okay? Thanks again.
Well, Coach T got stuck up here 3 times in a row. That's pretty impressive. Excuse me. 3 years ago, we started with these 8th graders and 6th graders because we had low numbers at the boys level. And it was quite an experience. And I think one of the best things that came out of that was they said, hey, Coach, we're just slow and short. Well, stand up now, 8th graders. They're no longer short and they're no longer slow. And we've seen a lot of progress with them over the years. And in addition, 7th graders, you stand up as well. There's some height with that, some speed with that. And we saw something this year that hadn't been seen in a long time in boys basketball here at Canton Galva Junior High. A combined record A, B, and C team of 33 wins and 3 losses. It's been a long time since that's happened here. Go ahead and have a seat, fellas. I'd like to thank a lot of people too, and one, it starts with Coach Thornburg. He and I toss things back all the time. It doesn't matter whether it's in the summer, in the spring, on the bus. We toss ideas back and forth and have worked very well together, I felt, for the last 4 years or so. I want to thank the parents because when we started this 3 years ago with these guys, boy, we got pounded, didn't we, fellas? We got pounded a lot, night after night, and we were short. This is about what it looked like. We weren't even up to the shoulders of our opponents, okay? But they stayed with it. We just talked about it's a journey. Each year is a journey. And now becomes turning a page. The 8th graders get to go on to high school and Coach Duncan. 7th graders get to move on, become 8th graders. And I'm going to turn a page as I retire. So it's one of those things that all of us continue to grow, continue to learn, continue to develop. I also want to thank the players because it's been real easy after that first year, especially the 8th graders, to just quit. Okay? Been real easy to quit when you go out on the floor and you can't even score a basket in the first half. That is extremely frustrating and discouraging. But we got better. Last year, As seventh graders, they had to be a major part also because of numbers, and they were able to, we were not getting blown out every night. And then this year, we were doing the blowing out, which was really, really nice. The seventh graders came in, and like previously been mentioned, the seventh and eighth graders, I think, did a great job of molding together, working with one another, and being supportive of one another. Another thing I'd like to thank them about too, we haven't mentioned the student athlete. We talked about being student athletes a lot with these guys because that's what they are, students first, athletes second when it comes to that. I'd like you to remember when they talked about the academics earlier this evening, a lot of these guys were up for that as well. They're also involved. You might have noticed they've been up for more than one sport, and that's just fantastic. And I think that it says something else about the support that they have from home and the community and the staff. I'd also like to thank the board. I'd like to thank the administration also because a few years ago when we had just 8 guys coming out for basketball, it was going to be a really, really tough season no matter what we did. And just want to thank them for supporting our idea and trusting us that we could start building this program and getting it going. So I think basketball is going to be in good hands for quite some time here with the guys. And like Coach Silsby said, get out there and play, fellas. Okay? Back when most of us were growing up, we didn't have MAYB, we didn't have Summer League. It was getting out on the driveway and beating that ball into the ground, and that's how we got better. And we've talked about that for the last 3 years, or the last year with the 7th grade. Get out there and do it. I know a lot of them have basketballs, a lot of them have goals. There's courts in both communities. Get out there and do it, and the success will continue to go. Thank you.
This evening we have recognized the great accomplishments both academically and athletically of many wonderful students, and now the time has come to bring this evening to a close. Before doing so, we need to close the chapter in the lives of our 8th grade students and prepare them for the next chapter called high school. And with that being said, as principal of Canton Galva Junior Senior High School, I want to confirm that the following students have met the criteria set forth by the Board of Education and are to be promoted to high school for the 2017-2018 school year. At this time, I'd like to award these certificates to the following students.
Alexa Lauren Bell. Corbin Eugene Bernal. Rachel Ann Bass. Jerry Bradbury. Cale Michael Buster. Peyton Darlene Buster. Braden Dean Collins. Chase D. French. Zachariah Daniel Giesman. Micah Blaine Hardman. William Harley Jr. Lane Alexander Hebert. Wayne Hitt Jr. Gage Benton Holmes. Brandon Michael Huff. Michaela Marie Jowers. Sarah Kendall. Connor Travis Kane. Madison Dawn Leach. Keaton Shelby Littrell. Skylar A. Marler. Courtney Sierra Metter. Braden Lee Minson. Aiden Taylor Moore. Aaliyah Dawn Perez. Andrew Herschel Creed. Devin Rose. Tyler Dean Rummel. Cody Allen Smallsry. Faith Cherie Shelton. Leah Grace Silsby. Clay Allen Weedle. And Dakota Lee Williams.
After the recessional, we are continuing our tradition of having an 8th grade reception in the Commons area. Everyone is invited to attend the come and go reception, but we do ask that you give family members a few minutes to make it to their table. And at this time, I am very honored to present to you the 2017-2018 Canton Galva High School freshman class. Congratulations.